Hey everybody! I thought I'd have a little fun this morning. I'm skiing in Utah. Well, I'm not actually physically skiing in this exact moment because I'm actually in our cabin. And so I wanted to talk to you about having more fun. You got to build a slush fund. So what are you doing as far as scheduling your life out to have a little bit more fun? Or are you, hey, Chris Britton, hi, Suzanne, how are you? I'm here in Utah. You're probably going to see Zach come running around. You're probably going to see, I don't know if you'll see Ash. He's probably on his computer somewhere, his phone somewhere. And Nanny Allie might be shuffling around here somewhere too as we just finished doing our group. This is how committed we are. Even when we go away, we're in Utah right now, we still bring our juicers so we can have our celery juice in the morning and all of that type of stuff. But yeah, we're going to hit the slopes today. Woo, woo! I'm super happy. It's a good morning, you guys. I wanted to shift and share with you guys. I know that everybody puts their head down and works. I mean, nobody follows me that isn't driven. So I know you put your head down, you work. But one thing that's super apparent, and I get asked all the time, is, you know, how to build a slush fund. And the reason why I want to bring this up is because I right now have two of my clients, only two, that that I'm pushing them to grow slush funds. One just did like $40,000 in like I think it was like 3 days, cash in the door, and I said to her, I said, take half of that and put it into your slush fund, and she's like, oh my God. Such a nut. Okay, this is my family. They're so weird. Oh, Zach's going on too. So even when I told my client to take half of that money and put it away, she was like, oh my God, Shanda, it's so weird how it's even hard to pay yourself. Like, it's even hard to take your money and put it away and lock it up so you can't touch it. Isn't that crazy? Like, it's your money, you're paying yourself, but it's just so hard to like put it away and not use it for something else, because you can always spend it on things that you need or want or whatever. But here's the deal. A rainy day always comes. It always comes. And like, even I remember like trips like this where I would go to New York, or I'd go, you know, I remember actually New York. I remember going and visiting Brita in New York. And when I was in New York, she can spend, this woman can spend. And so everywhere we go, you know, there's always like spending. And I remember being on such a tight financial budget that even just going to New York, like, I like to pretend like I had a lot of money. I like to pretend like I was good. But then like, I remember being in New York with Brita, and we bought like, I don't know, like $200 or $300 worth of makeup. And I'm not even a big makeup girl. Like, I don't wear foundation. I don't, you know, on my lips right now is actually chapstick with like a little bit of a tint to it. And I have some mascara and a little bit of eyeliner. Like, that's pretty much my whole life. Like, unless I'm doing an event and we've got cameras, I don't like to wear anything on my face. And so anyway, so I bought like $250 or $300 worth of makeup with her. And I remember feeling mad. Does anybody else get mad sometimes when you spend money? Like, it's like, does anybody else have that in you? Just like comment below. Like, it's like you spend money and you're almost just irritated at yourself that you spent the money. Well, I remember this time I felt mad, and she looked at me and she goes, well, if you're tight financially, why did you spend it? I'm like, I don't know. It just feels so good. And I have these little moments that I've connected the dots in my life. It's like, if it feels so good, why would I not make more of it so that I can have more moments like that? If I love to go skiing on the mountains, why would I not make more moments with it? Like, so it's like, and these are questions we all have to ask. You know, we have to ask ourselves, like, why are we not designing more fun in our life? You know, because it's not like you don't have to, like, look, these phones will completely bury you. They are more addicting than anything else. I watched these two young girls walk down the street the other day, and they're both like this. They're not even talking to each other. And I'm like, what? Like, where's the depth to some of our relationships? Because we're always, you get what I'm saying? So it's like, I believe more than ever, it is such an important thing to actually not only schedule out your goals and your aspirations, but also schedule out your slush funds, and also schedule out your fun time. And not like, I'm not talking like one vacation a year. I'm talking like, some sort of a mini vacation every month. Even if you're broke, the mini vacation could literally be going camping. You know what I mean? Like if you do these things, you just don't feel like you're driving your life or wasting your life into the ground. And then you have more bandwidth. And I know as a business coach, like my people that I'm coaching, my tribe, when the ones that skyrocket, I usually have the ability to put their head down and build and not complain. And then they put their head up, and then you see them doing something like going to the Emmys, or going camping with their family, or, doing some sort of like family gathering somewhere. Like they have some meaningful things scheduled into their life. So, but I'm kind of digressing because I want to talk to you about the slush fund. The slush fund is critical. Even if you can pay yourself $25 a month, you might add it up. Because I remember that's what I did. I added it up. I was like, oh my God, if I do $25 a month, by the end of the year, I still have no money. But that's not what happens. What happens is you start to generate more money, because your interest starts to move over to wanting to build that slush account. And what happens is you start to get addicted to putting more in there and more in there and more in there. And I went from broke butt girl to like having thousands of dollars in the bank, to now having hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions in the bank, to, and it keeps going. And honestly, I really believe the thing that made me feel confidence and safety was not making more money. It was actually, I believe I made more money because I actually kept building that slush account. I remember my slush account being $500 a month and that being a stretch. I remember $1,000 a month. I remember my 2-bedroom apartment in San Diego that I was now putting like $2,500 and $3,000 a month. And I remember feeling really rich at that point. And there's something that happens when you feel that way. There's like a little bit more of yourself that comes to the front that's accessible. It's like almost like you're willing to like let a little bit more of you out. And you'll be a little bit more giving in your business as well, because you'll feel safer, especially as a woman. You'll feel safer that you have that there. Now, the temptation is to take that money and just blow it. And don't do that. Don't do that. So you got to remember, like, some of that money is used for taxes, right? Some of that money is used for taxes. And then some of that money is used for investments. What I've done is I've used that money to invest in like 3-day events and things like that. Like I've actually used that money to invest in things that have a high return on investment, right? And so you got to look at, for some of you guys, it might be a real estate investment. It might be like you want to get into investing in apartment buildings. So you want to, and even if you don't know how to do it, that doesn't matter. You can find a meetup group. You can find a group in your area that you can actually go study real estate investing. There's just, my point is that, like my husband said this yesterday night, and I thought this was beautiful. We went for a beautiful dinner at Ruth Chris. We've got, like, it was really nice that our son actually was super disciplined and nice with us. And we had a really beautiful evening. Allie got to have her wine. I'm still not drinking wine, everybody, and still not drinking caffeine, including chocolate. Chris Britton, I think I saw you on here. Yes, no chocolate even. You know how much I love my chocolate. And so but we have this beautiful dinner. I would have loved to have had a glass of wine. Okay, I'll stop. And after dinner, my husband and I were speaking, and he said, I'm really clear that there is absolutely nothing that you can't train for. Like, if you want to be a great skier, you can train to be a great skier. If you want to be a great marketer, you can train to be a great marketer. If you want to build a great slush fund, you can train yourself to be financially good with your money. You don't have to believe the history of yourself that you weren't good at it. I was never good at online marketing before. I was never good at saving money before. I was never good at being rich before. I was never good at even being present with my family before. And through building all those things, it's like your whole life just starts to come together. But I do believe that the foundation of the Slush Fund really helps. So I'm just going to encourage you to take whatever you can take and make a commitment off this Coffee with Shanda today. And what is it that you and your family, or even just you, if your family's not enrolled in it, then screw it, do it anyway. Find a way to be able to make a commitment to start building a slush fund. And watch it build and watch yourself get obsessed with it. And then when you go to spend it, other than on taxes, look at where could you grow it? where could like I know as an entrepreneur that anything I invest in with me, I'm gonna have a higher return than the stock market. I now am a higher return than the real estate market, you know? So I invest a lot in myself, but now I'm moving into investing in real estate. I'm also invested in some different, not stocks, but I'm invested in some life insurance policies and things like that. So, but this all happened over the years. And so I first invested in myself, then I started working on life insurance policies for a retirement fund for me. And you know, every moment has been hard. Even the retirement fund, even though it's for me, like I invested $100,000. No, first it was $1,100 Canadian because I got one in Canada. It was $1,100 Canadian. I was making American money, so whatever that was at the time, which keeps moving. That was my first big investment that I was going to commit to pay that for many, many years. And I took an insurance policy out of my mom. And so when my mom dies, I get paid. And I know that sounds really crazy, but she's going to pass away anyway. All of our parents are going to pass away anyway. So I actually chose that policy first for me because I was like, okay, like she is going to pass at some point. I might as well create my own inheritance because she really doesn't have or didn't have an inheritance for me. Now she has a house and things like that. But, you know, she didn't really have anything. And so I basically, instead of waiting for my parents to take care of me, I started thinking about how can I play the game so that I can create different moments of wealth in my life. And I thought, well, by the time my mom passes away, I'll probably have kids. Who knows where I'll be financially in my life, but at least I'll be in a situation that at some point there'll be a big chunk of change coming in to either pay off a house or to pay into a retirement, whatever, right? Maybe pay for something, right? So I'm just sharing like my thought process. You have to find yours and what's important to you. Mine was built on security. I wanted some levels of security financially for myself. And I wanted a house. I wanted a home base. I didn't want to rent forever. I wanted a home base. So what's important to you? Some people never want to own a home base. I mean, I have friends that you watch on marketing and they look like these big deals. And they're like people who literally, they don't want to own anything. They want to own nothing, you know? And so I think you got to break the paradigms in your head, like how you were taught, like grow up, have babies, buy homes, you know. You have to break those type of scenarios because honestly, the way the majority of the world lives, they're all financially strapped. You know what I mean? Like so many of them are financially strapped. And I don't want that to be you. And I didn't want it to be me. And I don't want it to be my son. And I didn't want it to be my husband. You know, so you got to break some of these paradigms. I own a home because I wanted a home base, not because I was looking for an investment. To be really honest. Now, if I go look into real estate for investment, I'm going to go to my friend Alex Arriaga and I'm going to look at, you know, how to do like more like apartment buildings and things like that so that I can leverage up. So you got to find out what your game is. But to buy a home to retire was never a good idea for me. You know what I mean? Like I was like, what am I going to do? Like sell the house, then rent for the rest of my life? Like at the end of the day, it's only a 5% appreciation over the long haul with the ups and downs in real estate, unless you sell when it's high, you know, and then pay capital gains and then get back in the game. You know, it doesn't make any sense to me. So unless you get into more of a real estate investment game. So you have to look at your world and you got to start questioning some of the things that you've been taught and go, how am I going to get ahead? Because you can get ahead on a teacher's salary if you actually know how to do it right. You can get ahead. You really can. There's ways of getting ahead. You just got to talk to the right people. You can create a hobby on the side. I mean, if there's a teacher watching right now, I can show you how to make money with your hobby on the side. I think I have 2 teachers from my son's school right now that I'm helping, right? And it's like, literally, I mean, you could build a business on the side that's around your hobby and monetize it. And then you don't even have to quit your job if you don't want to, you know, like you can have your job and the hobby on the side, and then you can make more money on your hobby than you make in your job, but maybe you love your job. You know, like who says that we have to like quit things we love to go after things that make money? We don't. Like question the things you've been taught, and you don't have to do it the traditional way. All right, you guys. I am going to get rolling. We're going to head up to the mountain, and my son is going to get on skis for the first time, which is going to be fun. I know, you guys, I should probably be putting him on a snowboard because he'd probably be happier with me. But I'm a skier. And he's still under my roof, so he's getting to skis today. All right, bye.